Hello and welcome, dear students. Today we are going to discuss the topic Vedic education, particularly its aims and curriculum. The objectives of this lecture will be to develop a general idea about the ancient Indian educational system, particularly the Vedic system. Get familiar with the objectives and curriculum of Vedic educational system. Get an idea about the different castes and classes of people of Vedic age. Develop an understanding about the implications, the impact of Vedic educational system on the present educational system of India in terms of its aims and curriculum. Well, before discussing the aims and curriculum of Vedic education, let us discuss in brief the historical background of this system of education. India evolved different systems of education during the ancient period in accordance with the changing needs of the time. Being considered as the great gift of the past, education in ancient India can be studied under three main periods, and these are 1. Vedic period, 2. Brahmanic period, and 3. Buddhist period. Let us now see what was the Vedic system of education. Vedic period starts from the birth of Indian civilization to near 1400 BC. The basis of Indian education and culture lies in Vedas, which are 4 in number. 1. Rig Veda, 2. Samveda, 3. Yajurveda, and 4. Athurveda. Though there are different opinions as regards the time of the rise of Vedas, but everybody admits the fact that they are the most ancient books of the world, and at the same time they are the original source of the philosophy of life of the ancient Indians. The study of Vedas enables one to get thorough knowledge not only of the philosophy of life, but also of the whole fabric of ancient Indian culture. The term Veda has been derived from the word Vid, which means the knowledge. Vid is supposed to have its origin in 4 roots. 1. Vid Satyam, 2. Vid Vidalabhe, 3. Vid Vicharne, and 4. Vid Jnani. Vid Satyam is connotative of all those attributes and virtues which need to be cultivated by an individual for the procurement of the means required for the satisfaction of prime physical or material needs of human life, and also for the fuller development of one's personality. According to this Vid, the real glory of human life depends on the cultivation of individual power. Hence, in the first stage of celibacy of student life, which is called Brahmacharya, an individual amazes materials useful for the next stage of life called Grahastha, or the life of household. The Brahmacharya stage of life contains the keynote of human life, and on it is based the dignity and the glory of future life. As such, Vid Satyam has been regarded as the key apparatus. This is a noteworthy word, key apparatus, for the building up of life. The root Vid Vidalarbhi connotes that element in the universe which enables one to meet his temporal life with the supreme energy of benevolent and ultra-mundane existence. The enlightenment gained during the first stage of life helps the individual in the second stage, that is grihastha, to develop emotional attachment with the world and thereby obtain a glimpse of the divine cosmic soul. The third route, called vicharane, is indicative of intellectual and mental development of the individual. When a person tired and weary of the enjoyment of material comforts begins to feel depleted of strength during the grihastha, he needs to be replenished with power. Thus, in this stage, he is helped by his thoughts and ideas to develop a life of self-contemplation. The fourth route, that is Vidyane, gives a person knowledge of his inherent supreme perfection and redemption. An individual, on being initiated into the fourth stage of recluse, can, by his enlarged vision, gain the unbounded love of Almighty and thereby succeed in attaining the right of beatitude. We may thus conclude that the term Veda means knowledge of the ways and means of achieving spiritual progress in life. Therefore, the subject matter of Veda is Dharma and Brahma. Dharma is something that ensures our welfare, while Brahma is considered as the cause of creation. Now, let us discuss the aims and objectives of education. That is the first part of our today's lecture. In Vedic period, education had an idealistic basis in which stress was laid on religiousness, spirituality, development of personality, character formation, and creation of an attitude for the development of a healthy society and nation. Vedic education stressed upon prominent aims of education such as 1. Physical development. People of Vedic age believed that a strong body has a strong mind, and this is the main doctrine of the present Gandhian educational system also. Thus, a strong body was considered to be necessary in the worldly as well as religious matters. For this purpose, a student has to remain a Brahmachari up to the age of 25 years and lead a very regular, hard and disciplined life. Some used to receive education for even 32 years. During this period, some practical work like begging of alms, collecting firewood for Yajnikund, looking after animals and fellow beings of the ashram, and doing some agricultural work, which led to the physical development of a student. Second important aim is mental development. Mental or intellectual development took place simultaneously with physical development. Listening to Guru, thinking, discussing and meditation were essential for one's mental development. Possession of knowledge was considered absolutely necessary for one's mental development. Knowledge of the four Vedas along with the knowledge of Shruti and Smriti broadened the horizon of an individual. Third important aim is development of moral and spiritual faculties. Moral education affects the conduct of an individual. Mere moral instructions cannot improve one's conduct. Observance of celibacy was therefore considered necessary for good conduct. Religion has always played a dominant role in shaping the life of Indians. which is true even today. This was true in Vedic age as well. It's believed that education must be based on religion and spirituality in terms of its aims and content. Study of religion leads to moral and then to spiritual development. The teacher used to be necessarily a religious person, and the students also imbibed the same characteristics from his teacher. He sometimes superseded his teacher in religious matters and progressed in spirituality. Religion ruled supreme in Vedic education, and that's why spiritual atmosphere prevailed in the centers of education. Preaching, worship, and meditation were necessary for the spiritual development of a student. The next aim is development of civic and cultural values. Vedic education believed that an educated person should perform his duties in different domains of life cooperatively and enthusiastically. Cooperation, brotherhood, patience, and tolerance were therefore practiced by the students and the teacher in the gurukuls or the ashrams. Typical culture and religious rituals were performed and observed by all inmates of the ashram. Preservation of culture through knowledge and skills was essential in Vedic education, which got transmitted automatically and naturally to the succeeding generations through the medium of school. The next aim is development of vocational efficiency. In Vedic age, every student was trained for the vocation he would follow in his future life, so that he might become a socially efficient and useful person. Agriculture and the crafts of life were practiced in the ashrams. The student would do all activities practically which formed the main life activity. This was accompanied by rearing of animals and birds, study of astronomy, knowledge of snakes and Vedas, dance, music, and creation of fragrance were taught to develop vocational efficiency of the students. Next important aim is sublimation of instinctive tendencies. Vedic education believed that man is basically instinctive by nature. He is virtually a slave of instincts, which are embedded in his psyche. When he gets obsessed by his senses, he often adopts the wrong path. The objective of education should therefore be to sublimate these instinctive tendencies in order to establish control over the innate and materialistic tendencies and center them upon the spiritual world. Next important aim, development of character. This was a very prominent aim of Vedic education. This development could be achieved through providing the students an appropriate environment of disciplined life. Vedic education aimed at developing the values of self-restraint, self-confidence, sympathy, cooperation, love, and helpfulness for one's companions. Such a development would automatically lead to the development of a perfect personality. All these aims, to sum up, could be categorized as immediate and ultimate aims of education. Immediate aims would lead to the preparation of different castes of people for their actual life needs, while ultimate aims would prepare them for complete life in this world and the life beyond. Attainment of salvation was considered as the ultimate goal of education. Let us now go to the second part of the lecture, that is curriculum. Now, in Vedic period, the students were taught the 4 Vedas, namely Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samveda and the Atharvaveda. Dr. Mukherjee says, I quote, "Although the education of this period was dominated by the study of Vedic literature, historical study, study of heroic lives and discourses from the Puranas formed a part of syllabus. It took within its compass such subjects as spiritual as well as material knowledge from the Vedas, Vedic grammar, philosophy, knowledge of the absolute and that of the gods and ghosts, logic, ethics and conduct, arithmetic and geometry formed the core of curriculum. It is known for certain that the curriculum of Vedic education was according to the needs, interests and aptitudes of the students. All the same, it was different for the students belonging to 3 different castes. Say for example, Brahmins. The students of this caste were given special training in all branches of knowledge, as they were expected to become teachers in their future life. For Kshatriyas, a Kshatriya student was given special training in warfare, politics and other related fields. Vaishya students were taught economics, trade, agriculture, industry and other related subjects. Let me tell you, Shudras, as the 4th caste emerged later in the post-Vedic period, they were supposed to engage themselves in manual labor in agricultural fields, grazing of cattle, scavenging, etc. They were given education in these subjects only. Some of them learned music, dance, drawing, painting and other crafts. To sum up, the subjects which constituted the curriculum of Vedic education are Vedas and Vedic literature, which included Vedic grammar, rhetoric, logic, astrology, astronomy, spiritual and moral education, knowledge of snakes and devas. Second, theology and Puranas. Third, dharma, which is called the rule of conduct. Fourth, meditation and the rules and procedures involved in it. Fifth, professional or technical subjects. Sixth, arts and crafts. And seventh, physical education including dance and music. And the eighth one, recreation and creation of fragrance. Ninth, Vedangas, that was a synonym for all the above mentioned subjects taken together. These also included the study of Siksha, Kalpa, which is the rituals as given in the Vedas, Jyotisha, that is the knowledge of stars, Vyakarna or grammar, Nirukti, that is the etymological interpretation of words. It is said that the study of logic occupied a special place in the syllabus of Vedic education because knowledge of any other subject was tested on the basis of logic. Logic was regarded as the criterion for finding truth and untruth. Another specific thing about the curriculum of Vedic education was that along with education, the performance of certain rituals was considered essential. It was only after these rituals that the child would embark upon the subjects of his choice in future life. With this, we come to the end of today's lecture. I hope you must have enjoyed this lecture. Thank you very much.